Well, a supercar's appearance is inevitable right here on the final drive. Well, let me introduce to you this 2013 Maserati Granturismo S right here.
Excuse me, here's your order.
Thank you. And now, what a jump from the 911, but then again, not really. So we're in a 2013 Maserati Granturismo S with the MC gearbox, and this thing is, let me tell you, it's just on a whole new ball game. So testing out the suspension on this Maserati Granturismo S. She's got a lot of weight to move, but with this 4.7 liter V8 NA, it's able to move quite smoothly without any hesitation. Doing some uphill real quick. Ah, the roar of that V8 is just on a whole new world. My, oh my, this car's a joy to drive. Let's get some downshift noise. Whew. Ah, this car is such a thrill to drive. Well, let's talk about the motor that comes in this monster, okay? It is a 4.7 liter V8 naturally aspirated, which is a motor that's re-engineered by Ferrari. And it's crazy because it pushes out 464 horsepower. Shout out to Donut Media. The power is so raw, and the power is just there whenever you need it. As soon as I press on the gas, it just goes. She loves to move, that's for sure. That downshift noise, I cannot get enough of that. The exhaust note is just incredible in this thing. See, the thing that I like about the majority, like the European V8s, they, in comparison with the more American V8s, the sound is so different. It's night and day difference. Even like if you hear the V8s from like an American car, they're very, the best way for me to describe it, they're kind of all over the place, and not in a bad way. Some people like that, but in my case, I kind of like the European refined V8 noise. That's where you can hear all 8 cylinders rather than one that's kind of just, you know, all over the place, if you get what I mean. Like that is something I can deal with every day. This specific model is the one with the MC gearbox. And this gearbox is it's definitely one that you have to get used to. Because your standard automatic gearbox, you would have the lever right here, and as soon as you put it in drive, or even in, I don't know, if you go in the selective shifting mode where you can shift on your own, you know, there's a 1, 2, 3, and there's a lever. But as soon as you put it in gear, it'll move forward for you. But this car, when you're on a hill, it will actually roll back on you. So it kind of throws you off, you know, because it's not manual. Well, they call this gearbox the robotized manual gearbox. But then I don't know, it still kind of puts me in a weird situation where if I'm on a hill, a car will roll and it'll have a hard time pulling up, like especially for somebody who's not used to driving this car. Design and styling of a car, it's very important. The styling for this Maserati Granturismo S, it is really aggressive. If you look at it, it's got the Trident, which is the Maserati insignia. It has to be there, right? It's got it on the front grille as well as above it, on the wheel caps, and as well as on the B-pillar in the back. And that just kind of shows you that, of course, they're proud, and this is a Maserati at the end of the day. Like I said, the design, even if you look at the nose of this car, the lining goes all the way up to the nose section, not just the hood, it goes all the way down. And I feel like it gives this car definition as far as the look and styling. So when you start researching and inquiring about cars that are high up in the price range, like for instance for like this Maserati, there's a lot of things that come into mind, like how comfortable is the ride really, and how well made is it? Because if you're going to spend the amount of money that you're going to spend if you're trying to look into one of these cars, of course these things have to meet your standards, I guess, right? But then from my first impression of, this is my first time actually driving an Italian-made car, and you can just tell this car is very well built. This car is made, this is the 2013 model, and everything is still in really good condition. And the majority of the times when these cars, well not these cars, but the majority of the cars that's out on the street, after a little while, they start to kind of show some wear and tear. And being real, this car does have some wear and tear, but it's not to an extent that I feel like normal cars out there would show, you know? Now, let's talk about the stunning interior of this Maserati. Red interior, there's nothing that can beat that, all right? And this car originally came with black, so black with red interior, good mix. Even the current color right now, which is a wrap with this interior, is an amazing mix. So getting into this car the very first time, it definitely felt intimidating because there's so many buttons that you gotta learn how to use. But once you get to know the buttons, the functions, it honestly all just makes it a cooler, more satisfying experience. Okay, I've mentioned that this car has a lot of the Maserati insignia, which is the Trident. And if you guys didn't know, the Trident is actually a symbol that's been around in their hometown of Bologna, Italy. And like I said, they're very proud of that. So you can see that in the clock, in the interior, on the steering wheel, even on the headrests, on the seats. As far as space, it's great. You have a lot of leg room in the front and the back. It's a little bit more confined, but it's fine. This is definitely not a car if you're trying to bring like a whole full load of your family members in here. But then again, it's a sports car at the end of the day. Nothing beats it for sure. So when you're running it on the MCS mode, the car just turns into a whole different animal, making it very aggressive. The shifting is quite quick. Apparently it shifts at 100 milliseconds. And I guess there's no better way than just to try that, right? All right. Pretty good, not much lag. So getting into the overall driving, like the cockpit wise, everything feels very, honestly, it feels good. It feels good. That's the best thing for me to say it. The cluster, it gives you a shifting meter when you have it in the MCS mode, which is kind of cool. It gives you that race car feeling, you know? And I've honestly been one to kind of not, you know, be a fan of paddle shifters. But let me tell you, I think this car is changing my mind fairly quickly. All right, to fully put this car to the test, we're gonna need an open road. And just so happens that we're on one. So here's a second gear pull in the MCS mode. Oh my God. Oh my God! Oh my goodness! Wow! Just wow! This motor, which is derived from Ferrari, it just roars in a different way. And the power band is so linear. It's crazy. I'm speechless. That's just, this car just has so much power. But on paper, it's, you know, it's an outstanding car.